The first awards we're presenting today recognize outstanding exhibitors at the NAB show that provide exhibits or demonstrations of advanced technology developments related to media. These are developments that are not yet available in the commercial marketplace. In essence, these exhibits offer a preview of exciting things to come, the future of our industry.
Well, our mission has been to accelerate deployment of ITV services and products for almost 10 years now, and clearly it's been an up and down rocky road. I wouldn't say all uphill, but certainly we've had success, and we see the traction we see in VOD and DVRs and the expectation of interactivity that consumers have today. But there's a lot of roadblocks, and many of them are political. NAB is part of the issue. NAB versus NCTA versus the Consumer Electronics Association, they're litigious with each other. They have policy positions. They are trying to protect their turf, as well they should, but that's kind of the problem when you have standards that are also tied to organizations that have a vested interest in not necessarily cooperating. There was a resistance at first to the web, and then of course there's the overreaction, everybody goes on the web, and then now sort of we're settled down to the middle ground of, okay, we need to do what's called transmedia, going across all of those platforms, and some of those things are just sort of sexy, marketing, convenient things to say, but others have real operational implications, and that's what's being addressed on this panel and the other ones we did today. So our whole panel, the track today was called Radical Disruption, and it was all of those tenets that you have to do with advertising, distribution, production, and technology. So those are the four pillars that we see as being part of that whole value chain of this ecosystem. On the organization side, the ITA, we're neutral as to distribution. We're neutral as to most of these things. All we do is facilitate conversation and support initiatives that actually are going to have a measurable effect. For instance, Ad ID, or See Me, or Canoe, and some of these others that they're discussing.
We need to look more intelligently because this is interactive, it's richer. You know, start talking about CPA models, cost per acquisition, CPL, cost per lead. Talk about what the business objectives of the advertisers are. Now that we truly have this convergence of reach and frequency and interactivity and the dynamic nature of the internet, start to talk about how we activate advertising channels to meet business objectives and as a business lever, not just, again, as a reach and frequency model.
And then we're talking about TV, so let's add context, right? There's no response path that is direct, other than going to buy a product, which you can't measure directly back to television, right? So it's all soft metrics. It's brand perception. It's really high in the purchase funnel. Whereas because people are now selling products online, and I mean, P&G just launched an e-commerce division, right? That says a lot because now even large CPG consumers are going direct to sell because the internet is proving to be such an effective retail channel. So now that you can actually click to purchase, you can take an action as the result of the call to action in a piece of advertising creative, it changes things. So I think they're sort of apples to apples. But I just want to make a general observation. So Tim's going to make me a lot smarter about HLS, okay? Because when I hear production of video in my world, right, of TV, which is where we produce most video right now, because very few advertisers, we're encouraging it with an organization that Tim and I share a mutual friend called The Third Act, which is our brand entertainment group. So we're producing original short form content for brands like the Real Wives, the Real Moms of Philly for Philadelphia Cream Cheese for Kraft. It's a really successful short form web episode series we've done for a brand. But overall, brands are not producing content just for the web, sort of en masse. They're starting to, but they're not. And so understanding the downstream effects of the cost of production are going to have a huge impact on how much brands invest in producing advertising creative for this new media. But I'm sort of technologically smart. I'm not an engineer. I'm an advertising person. But if I have to demystify and navigate this space, like to find the intermediary that would allow me to serve vast creative into my Dart dashboard, which I have, which sits in my agency, and I require that every digital publisher that I want to buy advertising from uses darts and double click to serve ads, so I have that economy from an ad ops perspective. If I have to find the solutions to get creative to the end user, then I'm probably going to give up because I'm lazy, and that's advertising.
I think the day of dumb clients is over, and I and I am actually embarrassed that my industry still sometimes suggests that clients and CMOs, I mean, the Beth Comstocks of the world, Lucas at P&G, like, the clients are really smart and they are painting the future. But at the end of the day, this emerging space where IP and internet and television converge is being forced because consumers are demanding content real time, and because there's an opportunity of innovation and technology is enabling that, right? So you have this incredible hotbed of entrepreneurialism and creative thinking, and 90% of these startups are funded based on the supposition that the revenue model is going to be advertising. I don't know that it's my responsibility in the value chain or my clients to drive the innovation. If institutional investment is driving innovation, then come at us with good ideas that have efficacy, are measurable, and have an inherent learning agenda that creates value for advertisers, and you'll see cannibalization of TV dollars.